Lift every voice and sing, dealers in heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as a listening sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Sing it again now. The victory is won. Victory is won. Victory is won.
There has been more research done on the African American family systems than any other ethnic group combined. This documentary is one class's exploration of the African American family from a historical and ecological perspective. Our conversation takes an honest look at the responses of the African American family in times of high stress and the methods they use to overcome them. This is our conversation. What is the African American family?
I think what I've taken from it is that it's based on how you feel, as how you identify, you know? Because I think, like we talked about with Barack Obama, like that's how maybe he was made to feel by people, and that's how what he felt
so
connected
he began
to.
identifying that way, connecting with that.
Yeah, so it's really what you feel connected to.
Can the African American family be defined?
I think there is such a thing as the African American family, but it's not easy to define. It's not something as clear as black and white. It's not. There's that gray area.
Do you think other Maryland students would perceive African American families positively or negatively?
The context that they are like comfortable or used to, like, I guess, experiencing like African American families in, because if it's someone who's been around a lot of ignorant people, and they'll be like, oh, it would be like this person who lived next door to me who had 7 kids and like 8 different fathers and like things like that. Or
well, why is that something like that always like the situation that you described? Why is that something that's always characteristic of African American family? I mean, in reality, can't anybody have that? You know,
yeah,
but maybe it's more prevalent or more common. Like that's what their stereotype is, that it's more common, where
right.
they've encountered more people who have families like
It's just
and
something
from
I
that, and who
understand.
happen to be from that background as well, so they just enjoyed them together.
What about the media?
So usually the stereotype is put in the media, so you can think a certain way about a certain group. So even when you see people outside of that stereotype, you look for things that will fit that stereotype and feed your belief.
Yeah, there's white women that are single parents and that have multiple kids by multiple fathers, but with like African Americans and black people in general, most of the stuff which you see on TV is negative a lot of times, and I think people would try to portray us as a race in a negative way.
Yeah.
So.
Is there one type of African American family?
Really asking a question about any troll inclination is going to be to like say something that's basically a caricature, because there's no need for really any kind of family or any kind of anything.
Right.
And like you said
Yeah.
earlier, it's not
There's
like
really no such
African American family. It's not like homogeneous. It's not.
No, it's not.
You can't group every every family that has two African American parents into a huge category and say, well, this is consistent between all of them, because it's just like white. Like I don't think there's anything that you can say is consistent about all white families or all Asian families. You know.
Because
So.
if you said that, then like a traditional, then you're like, okay, what's a white family? And you're like, okay, someone with 2 children, 2 parents, and a dog. So would that make African American family with 2 parents, 2 children, and a dog? Would that make them white?
That makes them the normal family. That makes them a normal
That makes them a family, not
in
an
terms of
African
our
American
society, in terms of how our society is. But the question is that when you have these different types of family structures, when you have single parent households, which I think when you look at it in a historical perspective, I think the single family household may make a little bit more sense. But it's not necessarily dysfunctional. But in our society, we tend to think that single parent household as dysfunctional. And in reality, if you really look at some single parent households, they sometimes have more social support than, let's say, the nuclear family that is so typical or the norm for American